Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi there. Hi, it's me, Eric. Hi, friends. I'm Eric. Hi. And it's pretty obvious that my shirt is super cool. Is the chat working? Doesn't seem to be working very well right now. Let me see if it's working. Yeah, it's working. Echo Sierra in online. So, look, Winston's mom thought I was trying to express thanks in some fashion by wearing the shirt. No way. This shirt is worn exclusively because I'm so cool and the shirt is so cool. This is the shirt that the main character in Blue Exorcist wears. It's an anime shirt. It looks exactly like his shirt. If you look up Blue Exorcist, Thank You 39, you'll see a picture of him wearing this shirt and you realize, oh my God, Eric, that is such a cool shirt. You win like 50 cool points for wearing this shirt. Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks. Even Rachel doesn't have this kind of cool shirt, though. Her shirt's not as cool as this. Now, what Rachel does have is the world's coolest dress that says "Talking with Famous People" all over it. Her dress is awesome. It's just like seeing her wear that dress is just. It's like, oh my God, that's so funny. She's so branded. The thing is, the other thing that's weird is nobody ever comments on Talking with Famous People stuff. Like when I wear my peachy folder shirt, people go, if they're over 40, they go, oh my God, I remember those. If they're under 40, they have no idea what it is. When I wear my TWFP shirts, nobody ever asked anything about them, said anything about them at all. I used to have. So what happened to the Kyra video? For reasons without any justification or anything, she asked me to take it down. After she said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead, put it up." In fact, I think she booked a typing session, and because I believe she wanted to have the video published. And at the end of the typing session, I said, "Are you cool with me publishing this?" She said, "Yes." But then, not that long after, I got an email saying, "Can you take down that video?" And I said, "Okay, sure." INFP. Did I take down Opaloid's original typing session? If I did, it was because he asked me to. Whenever anybody asks me to take down a video that features them, I just take it down. It's like, I'm not going to bother fighting whatever. Even if they've got no good justification to ask me to take it down. So that's just life in the big city. You know, INFPs are a little bit wishy-washy. You know, probably when she said yes, she hadn't NEFI'd enough or something like that. And then later on, she FINE'd more and decided she didn't want it up there. And there was nothing bad in it at all. It's not like there was anything that was she would have. It wouldn't be something that I would have perceived her to have any concerns about. It was very straightforward typing session. But who knows what she was thinking? I don't know. But yeah, it's not just for decency. It's just to avoid trouble mostly. You know, no matter who's in the right, if somebody's person is on film and they're insisting that somebody else take it down, the Europeans think they have a right to do that. Now the Europeans are wrong, of course, but it's enough of there's enough I guess, momentum behind that notion that rather than fight any of those issues, I just take it down. I don't want trouble, you know. And the other thing is I have so many videos that it doesn't matter. When you only have 10 videos and somebody who's featured in 4 of them wants you to take them down, it's a big deal. If you have 6,000 videos, then it's whatever. I don't care. Yeah, I think it'd be great if Michelle Shocked would agree to my songwriter showdown. Well, it was about 6 hours after she sent it that I saw it. But as soon as I saw it, I just took it down. I mean, the thing is, I don't have any. I've probably used up my notifications for the last 24 hours or something. Ethically appropriate based on in the pre-arranging, good for holding to it. Yeah, well, it's just there's no upside to the alternative, basically. So I seriously doubt Michelle Shocked will respond to the video I just made and uploaded, or at least I very much doubt that she'll. And she probably won't watch it, but she might. But if she does, I doubt she'd accept my challenge. But if she did, it would be good for both of us, for sure. You know? I like the idea of it seems like a good reality show where you get famous songwriters and you have them compete against unknowns, each just being permitted the guitar and voice, so that there's no advantages from other elements, or piano and voice if that's what they play. Hi, Lauren Cuthbert. How's Lauren Cuthbert doing today? What? Says Boba Fett. I'm not exactly sure what Genexial means either, but I think he's saying that well, I do say, in fact, that the client has complete say over whether it gets published or not. But even if it weren't a client thing, right? I think that's what you're saying, right, Genexial? You've got a third date. Is that a third date with a third different person or a third date with the same person? If it's the third date with the same person, he's going to expect you to put out this time. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, she hadn't paid me yet. But she said she's going to. She said she'd pay me next live stream. And I said, don't pay me a super chat because Google's going to take half of that. The third date's at his house. Yeah. So he's like, can we just skip the can we just skip going through the motions of the third date? Are we going to chat IRL soon? Would you like to chat? Yeah, but even then I wouldn't. I deleted the video from YouTube. I didn't private it or anything. Well, I think she may have been thinking she was going to pay me with super chat. But how much do they take? Like 30 or 40%. I'm not sure exactly. The way they reveal the data on it, it makes it hard to tell. Oh, you're going to Netflix and chill. What movie are you going to end up not watching? I'd recommend something that doesn't really suck you in, something boring, you know? Like, I know, watch watch one of those old Ghibli movies. Not Kiki's Delivery Service, but Meow Meow of the Heart. That's boring. Spirited Away. Yeah, watch Spirited Away. Also, can we do a video session over mobile? Yes. You don't need a webcam and software. You may have to download an app to use Whereby on your phone, but which you don't on the computer. But I've talked to lots of people who use their phone. Ali Ghibli. All Ghibli, I see. All Ghibli movies are like a fever dream. They're kind of they're like walks in the park, kind of. They're pleasant-ish. They're pleasant. They're definitely pleasant, but you kind of wonder why you're bothering. You know, like, what am I doing anyway? Just walking around in the park. Yes, it's lovely, fine. I see the beautiful flowers. Oh, how emotionally resonant. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, where are the monsters? Where are the demon lords? where are the ninjas? You know, where are the ninjas? Where have all the ninjas gone? There's a question I think we all ask ourselves someday. What month Smollett won? I would say that of all the months, August seems like the most mullety month. Maybe July. It's one of the summer months. You've both had negative COVID tests. Congratulations. I enjoyed a sign at the at the gas station this morning that said, "You must wear a mask even if you are fully vaccinated." Shreds McGee. Eric. Shreds McGee. Sweaty necks are not hygienic. It sounds like the beginning of a poem, K.E. Sweaty necks are not hygienic. If you want to, like that, right? You're excited for the meetup? I'm excited for the meetup too. Capitalism killed the ninja, just like video killed the radio star. Capitalism killed the ninja by disavowing the legitimacy of murder. Am I a blunt man or a joint man? I like smoking blunts. I don't do so very often. But when I do, I'm happy to have done so. It's a little bit different high because it's got a little bit of that tobacco in there, you know, and it's got that kind of, it tastes like a blunt, you know. Michelle Shocked, okay? I'm shocked that you don't know Michelle Shocked. Oh, that's right. She's made it impossible for any young people to discover her music by making it impossible to access online. I mean, it's like so self-defeating. What in the world is she thinking? Your internet is slow, but my heart beats fast. All right. Fantastic, Shreds McGee. You sound like my kind of guy. Well, like I said, it's like it's not surprising that she's disappeared in history because she's rejected all online access to music, basically. She's like Prince, When Prince died, all of a sudden you could find Darling Nikki online. Prior to Prince's death, you couldn't find it. I met a girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. Sat in a hotel lobby, masturbating to a magazine. I said, how'd you like to waste some time? And I could not resist when I saw little Nikki grind. It's a really good song, Any of her songs you might recognize? There's a song, Anchorage, Alaska. It might be one of her more famous songs. 5 a.m. Amsterdam. There's a song called yeah, she's definitely she's got copyright infringement fever, and the only prescription is more Eric. You'll have trouble finding it. And when I made a video that told people where to find it, I guess I accidentally played like a couple of seconds of one of her songs in it, and boom, copyright strike. But the where I found it was on the what do you mean by that, Lauren Cuthbert? Are you letting people come on the stream again, Sam? Do you want to talk to me right now? Fogtown. Yeah, that's another one of her famous songs. That song is just basically Stray Cat Strut with different lyrics. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm not pooing. I must be doing something else. What am I doing? I'm not pooing. I must be doing something else. If you are this and you are that and wonder whether you are fat, you should ask yourself, am I fat? If so, that's okay. Somebody wanted to talk to me with their voice. Who wants to talk to me with their voice? Who wants to talk to me with their butt? No, listen, Mom. What I'm saying is this shirt references a specific anime, and the character wore this shirt in the anime. It looks just like this. If you were to Google this shirt, if you were to Google "Thank You 39 Blue Exorcist," you will see pictures and Google images of the character wearing this shirt. So what I was trying to do since I don't know, like a year ago. I'm not a weeb though, Shreds McGee. Okay, don't call me a weeb. I'm an otaku. Because I am fluidly transracial. What does that tell you? It tells you that I'm Japanese. And what does me being Japanese mean? It tells you I'm an otaku, not a weeb. Why do you have a mop image? Is it because you frequently cleaning up dirty floors? Right. So, in fact, one of my upcoming shirt designs is going to be a shirt that says, I'm not a weeb, I'm an otaku. It's a good shirt, right? I'm at work right now too, Shreds. Working hard. Working hard at impressing people with my shirt. I'm working hard at being an otaku. Another shirt design. Oh, okay. Goodbye. Weren't you the one who told me you wanted to talk to me? And I opened the room for you and put a link and everything, and now you're not here? This is the kind of shit I deal with all the time. People say, I don't want him yet. And I go, okay, here. And then, not right now. All right. Why don't you, yeah, I put the link. I put the link for you to talk to me in the room right there. And then you're like, oh, but I don't want to talk to you, actually. Okay, I'll put it back up again. Copy. I do have to actually work it at 10 o'clock for an hour. That's dead somebody. Eric, that's not actual work. Yeah, well, what can I say? Remember this: if you feel like jealous or not fair that I live this life or whatever, remember that I still can't make a living with off of this exactly, and it took. I mean, if you were to total the amount of hours I put in and divide it by the amount of money I've made, then I tried to let you in. What happened? You're not here. Okay, so try to come in again. I'll let you in. I have to just be patient a second. I'll let you in. You come and knock, and then I'll let you in. Is your phone already by the dust? Shreds McGee, your best friends with Cloud. I don't know. You were the one who wanted to talk. See what I'm talking about? See this? It's like it should be as simple as this. I want to talk to you. All right, here's the link. And then boom, bam. Schmiggity lamb. Instead, it's a bunch of stuff. It's Terrence McKenna. Well, you know what they say. It's never a good idea to damn. No, you're not. Okay, let me see. Try again. I am letting you in. I did let you in already, but I'll let you in again. Try again. All right, just be patient. I'll let you in. There. Now you're in. You're in. You're in like Flynn.
How are you doing?
What's that?
I just said, how are you doing?
Oh, you speak with an accent. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Hold on. I'm just turning off this video so I don't get lag. I'm okay. I'm writing a report. So,
is it a report on your upcoming date?
What would you write about for a date?
Well, it depends. If you're like a spy or something, you could say I'm working on attaining a new level of intimacy with the target, booty groove.
What did you just say? Did you just say booty groove?
Yeah, well, booty groove just got let into the room here.
Oh, hold on.
He's a third person. There's you, there's me. Now there's also booty groove.
Hi.
I mean, sure. you could consider Booty Groove to be just my natural way of moving through life, but instead it's actually a person's name.
What British words would you like me to say, Shreds McGee?
Can you say you're going to perambulate to the lorry station, then take the lift to your flat?
Oh my, you're gonna have to repeat that.
Say, I'm going to perambulate to the lorry station, then take the lift to my flat.
I heard take the lift to my flat.
Perambulate to the lorry station.
Wait, perambulate to the...
Perambulate. Now, look, do you know why you guys don't... Why don't you have strollers? What do you have instead?
Buggies.
Prams.
Buggies.
Do you call them prams, though, don't you?
No, we call them buggies.
Have you ever heard anybody call them a pram?
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call them a pram.
Why do I think they're called prams in England?
I don't know. Because all the films you watch are from like 40 years ago.
Because you see, pram is short for perambulate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really... Oh, that makes sense. So you asked me if I was going to perambulate back to my flat.
First to the lorry station. And then
lorry station.
Yeah. And then take the lift. You take the lift to your misspelled color flat.
Okay. I know, I can't even remember what you just said. I'll say scone and tea and crumpets and the rest of it.
No, Jack, I wasn't trying to say she.
Where's the other person? Are they okay? Are they gone?
Are they gone? Let's see.
That's right.
Yeah, they left. Maybe they put something in the chat. He put Booty Groove, formerly known as New Groove. One nation under the groove.
You can turn the echo off by, you need to mute the actual YouTube video and then only listen to the one that's on Rabbi. Maybe that's why you're getting an echo. New Groove.
Oh, I'm not getting a echo on my end. No, and I wasn't trying to say that she doesn't deserve authorship of it or whatever of the song. I'm just saying it's a song that's an example of an existing archetype rather than a truly distinct entity as a song in and of itself, you know?
Do you drink tea?
Do I drink tea?
Like fresh, yeah.
No, I don't. Not very often. Every once in a while, I'll have a cup of hot tea. Iced tea, I'm much more likely to drink. But then, even then, like the other day, I went to In-N-Out. I got iced tea and lemonade, a Arnold Palmer, as they call it. But usually, I don't drink tea. If I drink something with caffeine like that in the morning, it's coffee for sure. I'm assuming you don't drink coffee.
Yeah, I drink coffee.
Do you drink?
I don't drink coffee.
Do you drink both coffee and tea?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't you think that's one too many caffeinated beverage? Do you drink hot coffee?
Yeah.
Do you drink iced coffee?
I'll drink iced coffee if my coffee's gone cold.
Right. Well, that's not iced coffee. That's just cold coffee.
What? It's freezing in the UK. It could be iced coffee.
It's not always freezing in the UK. Sometimes it's very hot. Remember that one year in Wimbledon when it was so hot?
Wimbledon?
Yeah.
Which year?
I don't know, but I remember watching Wimbledon one year, not that long ago, and they were saying how hot it was and how all the players were like, "Woo, it's hot."
Might have been pre my time.
That was just a few years ago. What time of year does Wimbledon occur?
Do you see? Are you saying it with a T? It's with a D.
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. Who pronounces it like that? Nobody pronounces it Wimbledon.
Everyone in England does.
No, it's pronounced Wimbledon.
No one says Wimbledon. Hamilton.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Everybody who speaks correctly.
And it's my word against yours, and yeah.
Listen, England has a long history of needing to be taught by America how to speak properly.
I'm trying to remember like some of the words you say that don't make any sense. Like hate when you say is it aluminum or aluminum? Say aluminum.
Yeah, we say aluminum. When I was a little kid, I couldn't say aluminum, and I'd always say aluminum.
Aluminum.
I'd get the N and the M mixed up. I'd say aluminum. Aluminum. But it's actually aluminum. But you say aluminium, which is fine. It kind of is a nicer way to say it because it's more consistent with the way if you were to sound it out. You know?
Yeah. That's fine. I feel like something that really annoys me is you guys seem to really struggle to say the phrase like couldn't care less.
A lot of people do say couldn't care less.
I see so many people saying like I could care less.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that. That's true.
Doesn't make any sense. Because if you could care less, you couldn't care less.
Then right, if you could care less, then you're caring more than the minimum right now.
Yeah.
And
silly.
That's probably not what you're trying to convey. Although that's not necessarily impressive to say. I am caring more than the minimum right now, but not much.
It's just kind of a nothing statement, really.
So Streds McGee wants to talk about cloud because I brought him up to Eric to make an association. I still don't. That doesn't really answer the question that Winston's mom asked Streds McGee. They're saying, why are you talking so much about cloud? Jen Xela, I appreciate you referring to what I'm doing as Amerisplaining. I like that term quite a bit. No. Miles. You guys use miles, right? In England?
Miles?
And miles and pounds.
Kilometers.
And you use kilometers.
Yeah.
Do you use grams and
yes.
So you're full on metric?
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, cups. I can't stand cups. Cups just makes no sense to me at all.
Do you still measure horses in hands?
Mad. Do that again?
Do you still measure horses in hands?
Horses in hands?
Yes, you do. You measure horses in hands.
I have no idea what you're saying right now.
Okay, well, if I tell you how tall a horse is, the correct way to explain how tall it is to say it's 16 hands tall. That's the unit.
Surely not like width-wise. Do you mean like length-wise? 16 hands?
Yeah, how tall a horse is. Horses are measured
in hands.
In hands, right? Yeah, it's just like what's another one of those kind of cool old measurements that it's like furlongs kind of. Well, why are horse races measured in furlongs? Well, because that's the proper unit of measure for a horse race. If I tell you I'm 6 stone, do you know how heavy I am?
No, I have no idea what that means.
If I tell you I have 1 bushel and 1 peck of wheat, do you know how much wheat that is?
No. Bushel and Peckham sounds like names of your grandparents. To me.
What about
not any context?
If I expressed to you that I have a fuckload of pebbles, do you know how many pebbles I have?
A fuckload of pebbles. Probably enough to bury me.
A fuckload of pebbles is equivalent to 4 shitloads of pebbles.
Oh.
There are 2 grips in a shitload, and 6 handfuls per grip.
See, the problem is that doesn't translate very well over to English words, I don't think. Because you don't know what crap loads means.
Crap load.
Crap loads is equivalent to 8 loads of a shitload.
There should be, I guess,
You don't use the word
there
crap.
are 8 crap loads in a shitload. Is that what you're saying? That would
You
make sense.
use the word crap.
Yeah, a crap load would be smaller amount than a shitload. The harsher the language, the larger the amount.
So 8 crap loads is equal to 1 shitload, and 4 shitloads is equal to 1 crap load, right?
And since you're getting increasing amounts with increasingly harsh words, I guess the maximally largest amount would be a genocide load.
Is that what you shout when you hit your toe? You shout genocide. You don't shout fuck, you shout genocide.
Yes, I do.
Oh, genocide.
I also use it when I want to have sexual intercourse and I'm talking dirty. I say, "Oh, I'm gonna genocide you," like that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
How does the word dump compare to shitload in terms of quantity? Well, you wouldn't have a dump load. I guess just a single dump would be even smaller than a handful. I think it goes a pinch, a squarum.
Squalor.
A squarum. A squarum is 4 pinches. A pinch, a squarum, a scoop.
Squarum, like, hold on.
It's just a made-up word. A pinch, a squarum, a scoop, a handful, a peck, a bushel, a grip, a shitload. Crap load, a shitload, and a fuckload. And then a genocide load. Right. That's the order.
Great. I'll add that to my notes.
Cool.
I'm gonna go because I need to work.
Bye.
But nice talking to you again.
Nice talking to you too.
Stay well.
See you later.
Speak soon. Bye.
Bye. Well, there goes Lauren Cuthbert. Back to England. Where she's going to perambulate to the lorry station and take the lift to her flat. TIL. Today you learned. How many scotches is a smidge? It's a good question. I don't know. What type is LC? Some kind of extrovert. I've apparently talked to her before. Do I recall talking to her before? No. Not specifically. But I do recall talking to English ladies before. Is she one of them? I don't know. Maybe. Apparently. I remember Lauren Cuthbert because she's going to get some play today. That's why. She's going to be like, "Ooh, yeah, give it to me, big boy. Give it to me." Oh, I typed her as INFJ. Well, then she's not an extrovert. My mistake. Lauren Cuthbert is not Curious Kyra. 0 chance Lauren Cuthbert is Curious Kyra. I mean, I think all fractions in our new measuring system should be 1 over a prime number. So it's like, a scotch is 1/13 of a smidge, which is 1/23 of a of a Carsablan. Carsablan is named after its discoverer, Igor Carsablan, who discovered a unit of measurement between the squash and the fazzle bottom. It wasn't a proper probing typing. Okay, well, what are you gonna do? A smidge is a pinch rubbed between your thumb and forefinger over a stew or soup, while making extra careful sure that you don't let any of it fall into the stew or soup. You just rub it between your fingers over the stew or soup. That's the key thing about a smidge. It's a ritual gesture, not an actual addition of quantity. Ritual gesture. I want Michelle Shocks to agree to my contest idea. But isn't that a good reality show in general? You get professional singers, songwriters whose work is well known, and you have them compete against unknown people, each party being limited to the same tools, their instrument and their voice, be it piano or guitar, probably. How many tablespoons is it in a load? Depends how long it's been since you've had sex. Oh, New Groove. This is a super cool anime shirt. So if you really want to know what it's about, you should Google Thank You 39 Blue Exorcist. I'll try to pull up an image and share it with everybody. Thank You 39 Blue Exorcist. Images. Well, here's a picture of him wearing it. There's a better one. Open image in new tab. And you know what? That's the consequence of her I wouldn't be in a studio. We'd be doing it virtually. It's like we'd take turns playing songs on a live stream. Her from her house, me from my house, and we'd have people vote on it afterwards. I'd be happy to either non-monetize it, let her have all the revenue from it. If she has a channel, do it on her channel. The thing is, if if she were to actually talk to me about it as a possible real idea, then she might have various terms that I could or I maybe would or wouldn't agree to, depending on what they are, But I'd try to bend over backwards to make it happen, I think it would do us both good because, first of all, it would give me a good opportunity to give a little lecture somewhere in the middle of there about how Michelle Shock's music and the quality of her as a songwriter is completely unrelated to her religious, political opinions or whatever. Whether or not she's homophobic should have nothing to do with your perception of her music. I'm not saying she is, I'm not saying she isn't. I'm saying what happened to her before was wrong. Now, granted, she shouldn't have ranted in the middle of a concert, as I'm doing right now, but regardless, what happened to her before was wrong. When I schooled her ass, that was appropriate. It was because of an appropriate reason. In other words, do I have a keyboard? You mean like a piano keyboard? There's a piano in the house. I don't have a synth kind of keyboard or whatever. I'm not really going to bring any instruments with me to Indianapolis because the way that the plane is. It cost me $120 just to take my guitar back and forth. But sure, we could write a song together. Okay, yeah, that'd be great. I would love to play the guitar. I like to play the guitar. It's fun. Hi, Lijo. So even if Michelle Shocked isn't down to do my songwriter showdown, I don't know. Maybe I could start to think of other sort of famous, or at least medium famous songwriters, and challenge them to the same thing, because it's a good idea. You know, I would like to believe that it, on a level playing field where both of us are just have our instrument and voice, and we're competing against being just basically a singer-songwriter, that I've got a good shot against most any comer, Even if I lose, it still is good publicity, The thing is, of course, it's a no-win situation for the pro, right? So it's going to be tricky to find them to agree to that. But the concept, each person takes turns playing. Each gets 3 songs, or a total number of minutes or something, and they battle in that fashion, is a good idea and a good way to find out who's really doing good work in terms of the singer, in terms of the songwriting element of things. It's not ultimately always a decisive factor in whether or not a track is good. What is a butt with no holes? A cheek? I just picked up my new glasses and they don't have the frames I used to have, so I got the closest ones, but now they're on my face and it's very weird. Hi, Joe. I am so sorry to hear that. I remember when Delilah was very little. Thank you, 69Q, for your encouragement. When Delilah was very little, I once got a haircut and my beard trimmed, and it had been pretty bushy prior to that. And when I came home, she burst into tears. I also remember when the dog also sometimes would like bark at me when I come back from a haircut if it was a big change. So, that's the thing is, I think there's a lot of potential benefit in collaborative endeavors. I mean, I've been sort of keeping an eye on Lijo's video that she made with me, and it's got like 3,000 views now or something. Global warming is expected to lead to a plague of excessively sweaty butt cracks. I'm not especially prone to getting hugely sweaty. I think that's because I'm skinny and I'm much more susceptible to cold than heat. When it's very cold outside, like if I go outside without a jacket, sometimes I'll fall victim to what I call the uncontrollable shivers. Come back inside the house and until I warm up. And when it's hot outside, though, I feel like, it's hot, but whatever. What can FE tool do that FE fourth can't? Why, we can sing and dance and laugh and play. I don't know. It's not like what it can do and can't do. It's more like what role it plays in your overarching frame of reference. So for me, it's an absolute value, and I expect myself to be good at it. When I fall short, I kind of get mad at myself. I generally am pretty good at it, and it's important to me that people like me and perceive me as socially graceful. Fourth slot, it's something typically fourth slot is a function where people are self-deprecating. In other words, I know that my ego can't comprise entirely of good things. I have to have some shortcomings or deficits or weak areas, but I don't want my weak areas to be ones where I'm actually insecure about. Our fourth slot function fills that role in terms of our social interaction. If we need to be self-deprecating about something, then we'll go, I'm not really very good at that, whatever our fourth slot function is. Explain the third slot's selfishness. Well, I mean, one simple way of expressing it is this. I like people to provide feedback to me all the time, but I don't really like to provide feedback to other people. Sometimes people send me documents they've made. What do you think about this? I usually just don't even reply or read it or anything. Why? Because I don't care. I mean, it's like I am trying to myself fill the niche of person who makes things that other people look at and react to. I'm not really interested in looking at your stuff and reacting to it. Now, that doesn't mean I won't go out and find pieces of media that I like a lot, but then that's not an FE thing anymore because I have no idea who those people are that make them. I'm just looking purely from an NI perspective framed through an FE frame of reference that says what's universally true and good aesthetically. So if you were to show me something you made, I would be I would give you exactly honest and direct feedback about it. If it was really bad, I'd try to be as nice as I could, but you can in fact count on me if you want to show me something, give feedback on it. You can in fact count on me to tell you the exact correct feedback, but whether or not I want to actually listen to it and give you feedback is another question. Shreds McGee, are you gonna email me a song? I'll listen to it and give you feedback if you want. Send me whatever song you think you want feedback on. The thing is, I am not easy to impress, and I won't jerk you off at all. So there's a very good chance anytime anybody sends me any music that they're going to get kind of a mixed bag of response. Well, I like this aspect, and I think and whatever, Some people do light show, some people don't. As far as appreciating my unapologetic honesty. Host Eric has an unusual ability to find the words I need. He says, I spend my precious here, and that is LOTR reference. He is right. He's precious to me. FI is comfortable here. I want all the FI polar you can have. I would like to think that FI should feel comfortable and safe here for people in general. I do have FI myself as an absolute value, and I don't like the idea of people's feelings being feeling emotionally unsafe because things are going to get a little rough and and tumble sometimes. It's kind of a challenging line to walk, because at the same time, I like the idea of a vigorous engagement of ideas, but a lot of times people end up attacking each other rather than ideas, and what are you gonna do? Winston's mom isn't subject to very much attack. Occasionally some foolish person will come in who's new and try to launch in at her, but I don't see how Eric doesn't placate more with that tertiary FE. It's selfish. I mean, I guess the other thing to say is it's less of an absolute value than extroverted intuition or introverted intuition. So in other words, I want to be liked for who I am. I want to be respected for what I'm good at. I don't want to pander. I want to be respected by the right people too, is another thing. It's like, I don't want to be somebody who's very popular, but smart people laugh at me. It's like I see there as being aesthetic truth, and I see there as being logical truth, and I don't want to prioritize something else above those. ESFPs, why are they so different in your observations from us? Why do INTJs like me trigger them and they trigger me? I mean, the thing is this: ESFPs their fundamental worldview is mapping is misguided. That instead of mapping things, instead of referencing a map or taking time to map, we should be focused on the territory exclusively. And yet here they are in an area where you can't really take action that's not on that doesn't take action on the map. Now they're trying to sort of spill ink on the map as a way of kicking the anthill, getting people to respond on a territory level emotionally, which is something they can engage with and understand. They don't understand how to engage about mapping itself, like, are we mapping this correctly? Nor do they know how to engage about mapping as sort of metaphysics, like how ought one map in general. So instead, they try to kick everything into a non-mapping frame of reference, which is by provoking emotional response. Bye, Lauren. Nobody's trying to get rid of you. just FYI, nobody's trying to get rid of you. So the INTJ is going to say, are they mapping this correctly? INTP or ENTP is going to say, regardless of whether they're mapping this correctly, how ought we map things in general, or this kind of thing in general? For ESFPs, they're the least mapping type. So they can't even conceive of engaging on that map level. So they behave in ways that force you onto a territory level that they can sort of intuit through the language. Well, I don't get what you're saying, but I get that you're mad now. Or I don't get what you're saying, but I get that you're happy that I agree with you or praised you, or something. Well, I mean, incorrect mapping can be disastrous, for sure. But that's not an indictment of mapping. That's an indictment of incorrect mapping. So why does provoking an emotional response have to do with being territory over map? Well, because FI is a territory function, not a map function. And in other words, they're trying to kick the ideational stuff down to a level where it's experiential. An emotional response is an experiential response to an idea. Since they are not understanding the process of one idea linking to another ideationally without linking to the territory in between, they assume that the way to engage somebody about ideas is to make sure that you engage them emotionally, with your ideas, because that's the best way to get from what's unavoidably a mapping thing, which is what we're doing around here, into something that they can understand and work with. The thing is, I'm not trying to reduce all ESFPs to their limitations. I'm just saying this environment, specifically typology, interacting together on the internet about it, talking about ideas and stuff, is fundamentally a hostile environment to an ESFP. It asks of them to constantly be in their polar and their 8th slot, or they're ignoring maybe, but nothing that they have in their front stack as a reliable tool or way of being is particularly applicable in this context. So the SC doesn't really help them. It sets a frame of reference where they want to provoke some kind of response. The FI says what kind of response they want to provoke, and it's emotional. The TE, not particularly useful on the internet when talking about these kind of things, because this is exactly the sort of thing in which that utilitarian empirics-based approach is not appropriate. And then finally, they've got NI in the 4th slot, which means they jump at singular truths and expect that this is the nature of truths, that they are always non-reducible or irreducible, and that which is enigmatic is deep, and there's no permanency to it. It's like, so they'll be enamored with one NI notion one day and enamored with another NI notion the next day, and that's just all there is to it. There's so much of typology that's repetitive tracking too, and it's not fun and exciting, but it's complex and wonderful. How often does an ESFP get mistyped and find the community? They hang around, find a place in the community, move along somewhere where they're find more. I mean, C.S. Joseph is based, his whole business model, I think, is more or less based on telling ESFPs that they're INTJs or whatever else, whatever they want to be. He's got people who want to do it backwards. Who, if you really don't understand mapping at all, you'll think, "Ooh, I want that status, then I'll be that." Like, for example, and I used to live in Temple City. There were these people, these Chinese ladies who. I'd go down this one street and they had stop signs going this way, but there were no stop signs going this way, right? They consistently come to a complete stop and then go without even looking either way or thinking about it. It's like the symbol is the thing. Well, I stopped, therefore I'm safe. As long as I get the label INFJ, then I am that person, That's totally not getting the way mapping and territory interact with one another. I think I've been kicking lug nuts while you get chicken nuggets is a good beginning for a country song. Yeah, I've been kicking lug nuts and you get chicken nuggets. And we sit in this here parking lot and eat. 'Cause the tire ain't no good. And wheels, well, they should be round enough to drive along this way. Like that. How do you decipher between the cognition and the manifestation? Well, I mean, that's where it comes into play the subject agent object thing. So that which is an example of subject driven attention is much more visible, and you can no, you don't. Okay, you don't. I don't think I'm going to make any money off that little song I just made up off there. So, hi, Brennan Quest. What was I saying? I was saying about something, yeah. Oh, manifestation and cognition. So, like, extroverted intuition right now is easy enough to spot because its manifestation and its actuality are the same thing. If I am making up a little song on the fly right there, I'm paying attention by extroverted intuition, and it's a form of paying attention that I keep getting distracted by the chat. That it's easy to understand what it is. However, my introverted intuition is not necessarily going to express out loud. So most of the time, introverted intuition isn't worth mentioning. It's just like if you shoot this fire at that pile of leaves, it'll catch on fire. That's introverted intuition. It's like it usually doesn't need to be said. It's pretty obvious. Some instances it does, and even then, if you're an introverted intuitor, you don't necessarily think that you have a responsibility to convey your introverted intuition to others, because if you're an INTJ, you find that always backfires. You know, the typical INTJ thing is they've got their cousin Susie. Susie is really convinced that she's going to be a famous singer, and is talking about her dream to the INTJ. I really want to. I know I've got what it takes to be a famous singer, blah, blah, blah. But the INTJ has already noticed that she's a little bit pitchy, and so the INTJ goes, "Well, I've got the name of a good vocal coach for you to help you deal with your pitch problems." The INTJs thinks they're being helpful. The person they're talking to thinks they're shitting on their dreams and telling them that they're not actually any good. And then they get mad at the INTJ, and the INTJ goes, "What did I do?" The INFJ just doesn't say anything because they're FE and they know that's what's going to happen. I got to say, though, Winston's mom, of the various freestyles and stuff that I do randomly, the one that Horse Rumble linked to recently about being buried in a bag, that's like I was like, oh, thank you so much for linking to that. I don't know if you guys know which one I'm talking about. I'll try to find it again here. I really like that one. To me, that stands out as like something I should probably make a song out of. Let me look here. Let me get rid of this. This young man's courage deserves my attention. Oh, let's see. This one. Throw me in a bag, put me in the dirt, plant a tree on top of me, 'cause that would make me squirt. Smarter than those folks who bury in the ground, but all trapped up in coffins with the dirt all around. I'd like my body to feed this tree and see if me join it too. In the tube, thinking, hey, look at these, it's bees, they're my leaves. I'm a tree now, a tree. Life as a tree sounds pretty good to me, though evidentially there's no reason to believe that planting me beneath a sapling will produce some kind of new news, like me becoming a tree. Still, I'd like to think that it would. I'd be buried, that's good. I think I'd become tree. I'd like to be a maple, please. It has the pretty leaves. It drops them in the fall, reminded me of death that preceded this all to be a tree. Yeah, I like that song. I was appreciative of Horse Mumbler linking to it because, of course, I had no recollection of it. Brenna Quest, regarding that feeling as though you were a tree, that song is specifically about the notion, Brennan Quest, that song is specifically about the notion that after one dies, that put me in a bag and bury me beneath a sapling, and then the tree will grow its roots down through me, and then I'll become the tree in some fashion. That's what that song was about. Now, of course, the thing is, when you hear a song like that is played over a live stream like this, the audio is crap because it just is. Yeah, that is weird. That's synchronicity, as you say. So, you know, what are the most likely mistypes? The whole stack flipped, ESTP INTJ, or ENTP ISFJ, or mirrored? Something like, I mean, I think the most likely mistypes are ESTP, ENTP, like that. So that would be ENFP, ESFP, INTJ, INFJ, SFJ, TJ. Is that right? No, that's wrong. I don't know. The one that's like ENTP and ESTP. So you've got the other action function. So it'd be like ISFJ, INFJ. Those two would be easiest to mistype. ENTP, ESTP. Those two. You'd have INFP, INTP. Those two are difficult. You can easily mistype them for each other. Can I be an intuitive ESTP? I mean, I think all ESTPs are easy to refer to as intuitive if you use the sense in the colloquial term. If you use the term in the colloquial sense, because they're certainly capable of hanging ideationally with intuitives, especially about logical ideas. But you'll notice that one of the big differences between an ESTP and an ENTP is that the ESTP consistently positions themselves in the getting and judging position, and not so much in the generation position of ideas. So ESTPs may make observations, but they don't generate explanations of their own. They judge between the various explanations others present. They also tend to have a approach where they say, what matters is how and when and where I use this kind of ideation in particular instances, ultimately. And for the ENTP, they say ultimately what matters is being correct about it, understanding it completely, and having that understanding be exclusive of others. So, for example, an ESTP might well say, I am perfectly happy cherry picking those things that are correct from each of the models, regardless of where it came from. You don't know about this sulky part? Let me see here. I'm missing something interesting. Let me see what they're talking about here. Like, you call them and they'll brush you off and it's no big deal, but if they ever call you and you dare be unavailable, they get so offended and get sulky and secretly mad. Who is that you're talking about? Who are you talking about, K.E.? Who are you talking about? Who's the they? Stop using pronouns. Stop using pronouns. My ESFP mom expects us to call her all the time. My INTJ brother would be secretly mad that she doesn't call him and expect him to do all the calling on one-sidedly. I am like, who cares who calls first? So that's an example of instrumental TI. So you're about consistency and logic, and to a large extent using fairness as a tool function. But when it comes to yourself, you don't mind if it's unfair. You're fine. It's like, I don't care if Rachel has more than her fair share of me. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. I care less than other people. So being fair, it's like I won't let other people be explicitly unfair to me, but I don't mind like in a relationship where the person's not trying to take advantage of me or beat me or something, then I'm perfectly happy being the more generous one. That's in line with my third slot FE. You could call me selfish in the sense that I tend to not be the one who, like, we'll go out to lunch, I'll buy somebody else lunch, right? And I rarely am the one who gets bought lunch. But to be truly fair and understand the way that humanity works, it's important for you to be the one who receives the kindnesses of others as well as the one who provides it. I've gotten more used to it. Winston's mom provides a lot of kindness to me. She sends me stuff in the mail and it's fantastic. You know, my very favorite hat is that my brown hat, which I think looks rad. And it's like, as far as aesthetics on that one, Winston's mom absolutely fucking nailed it. I don't know what to tell you more than that. That's a rad hat. I like wearing it. I like the way it makes me look. It's great. Improved my life dramatically. Now, it's a bit of a crapshoot. Sometimes Winston's mom sends me stuff that I don't want. That's fine. At least I'm honest about it, right? Like, there's a bunch of plastic stuff in this aquarium pack thing that she sent me, but I don't have any fake plants, in my aquarium. I don't want any fake plants in my aquarium or other like fake things. I have actual real live dirt from outside at the bottom of the aquarium and rocks, and then actual live plants and stuff. So I don't really want to put the fake plants that she sent me in there. But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate her sending it. I definitely appreciate the log with the various holes in it. It's also fake, but I like it anyway because it's such a good cave log, and my fish like caves. So I put that one in there. You regret moving from a cichlid tank to a reef tank, too much maintenance. Oh, you have a saltwater tank now or what? Thing is, I put a lot of maintenance into my cichlid tank, actually. I change the water a lot. I do lots of stuff. Yeah, I think the thing is, maybe one of the reasons Winston's mom likes to send me stuff or feels her FI is safe here is she knows that I don't have any expectations. There are zero expectations. I don't know how to put it. It's always a delightful surprise because I'm never expecting anything. So I don't know. That makes a person free to do what they want, right? They know that they're not setting any precedents that they're going to be expected to follow up on with more of the same. ESFJs might respond to it like that, but I sure as hell don't. And of course, she also knows she's going to get my honest response to it, Like, I don't love everything. What do you think of other ENTPs? Do you generally get along with them? I'm pretty sure I am one, though I may be ENFP, not sure, pretty new at this. I generally get along well with female ENTPs when I encounter them. They're pretty rare, but we get along fine usually. I think it's primarily because the female ENTP finally feels understood and respected rather than I think the female ENTP has an even harder time being their natural self and fitting in with society than the male ENTP does. There's a lot of dudes out there who don't really want the girl to be way better at just sharp as because most conflicts and stuff between people these days, almost all of them are verbal. They're not physical, and it's easy to understand how a lot of men feel threatened by ENTP women who, until those ENTP women learn to suppress their natively iconoclastic ways and make themselves more socially acceptable. And so I think when they're talking to me, they realize they're understood, their skills are respected. They don't have to dumb anything down. I can follow along with what they're saying. We're communicating on a straightforward, direct level without any bullshit. And it's probably very much a relief for them who don't normally encounter that. The other thing is, I think with people of the same type as you, so it doesn't matter female ENTPs, it doesn't matter what they look like or how young or hot or not or whatever they are. I always tend to feel very siblings-ish about them or towards them. I spent a lot of time hanging out with Becky, ENTP, when I was with my last girlfriend, ISFJ, and I personally felt like, it was while I tend to limit the amount of time I hang out with women, specific individual other women, when I'm in a relationship, I never felt like that was a questionable thing, because it always felt so like a daughter or something, but not really a daughter, more like a sister. Having exactly the same cognitive function stack, I think, eliminates the possibility of, it eliminates sexual chemistry while allowing for ENTPs, at least, even ENTP females, to feel like there's some bonding and being understood finally, without there being any risk of even if I were single, of me trying to get on them or whatever. I think it's NTs with NTs in general as well. There's a lack of sexual chemistry. In fact, this was very much an issue with this INTP woman that I almost was in a relationship with, and we had an explicit discussion about the lack of notable sexual chemistry between us, but the fact that we liked each other a lot, and that it made sense for us to potentially be a couple. Made a lot of sense. She was very tall, so I was taller than her, but almost no other males were taller than her. So there's that. She was thin like me, and she was a debate coach like me. In fact, she was state champion in California, was my assistant coach, and was a policy coach. It was like, on every logical level, it made perfect sense for us to get together. But we both acknowledged that we didn't really have any natural sexual chemistry towards each other. And we talked about it, and I said, well, I'm assuming once we're both naked and lying next to each other that things will happen, And she's like, yeah. But we never did it. But that's an INTP and ENTP, right? Total lack of SE prioritization. Okay, Rain, for fuck's sake. If we say that properties are fully interdependent with objects, no properties without objects, no objects without properties, it seems at first to be no way to distinguish them reasonably. But if we realize that properties can't have other properties, and then spot something with more than one property, we know that there is something that is an object. Okay, well, I think that's a good idea, what you're saying. I've not heard it before. I've not thought about exactly that kind of thing before. But it makes sense. I would personally have replaced the word properties with attributes. The way I use the word attributes when I'm talking about philosophy, I mean that it's the kind of thing that can be measured of an object. Now, regarding properties, let's say, this video has a title. That's one of the properties of this video in some sense, but it's not an attribute. And so I would say what you're saying is correct about attributes. How do you distinguish between an attribute and an object? Well, if something has more than one attribute, then it's an object. If you want to test whether something's an object or an attribute, you can try to add an attribute to it. But the thing is, it's not really the case that attributes can't have attributes. So if I say 6 inches, this box is 6 inches long, I might add the qualifier roughly. Would you say that's an attribute of an attribute, or is it a qualifier or a modifier? I mean, attribute is something that can be measured, I guess. If we define it as that, then roughly would not qualify as an attribute. You might say margin of error, but even that's not exactly measurable. So what I would say is that I distinguish between space objects and time objects. Space objects are those things that have attributes, which are aspects that can be measured. So length, width, weight, height, color, things like that. I mean, I don't know if color can really be measured, but you get what I'm saying, right? No, Rain, I wasn't saying something that smart, actually. And I wouldn't agree with that statement, though. I would say purpleness is distinct, just as water is distinct from hydrogen and oxygen. So the thing is, we have objects in the world that comprise identities, and we have objects in the world that comprise objects. So a rock is a rock. A video is something specific, right? So it's like this video is different from other videos, and it's defined not by its attributes, but by its duration and meaning or content, the nature of the content, which is distinct. So these are identity-based things rather than physical object in space kind of things. Now you can make a distinct object in space into something with an identity by naming it. So Plymouth Rock has an identity, even though it's an object in space. However, the extent of its non-attribute qualities link to our narratives about it rather than to the rock itself. So this makes it different than, say, a song. So Jingle Bells has a distinct identity. You might call it an entity. Plymouth Rock also has a distinct identity. You might call it an entity. But in the song instance, Jingle Bells is distinct from other songs in a way that Plymouth Rock is not distinct from other rocks. The primary distinction of Plymouth Rock from other rocks is not implicit to the rock, but where it is and our stories related to it. All right, so if you're talking about identity malleability, the thing about that is, to the extent that a cloud has identity, is because you pointed it out and named it specifically. Now, in that instance, its identity lies in its distinctness from other clouds. It's non-merging with other clouds. It's being a distinct object in your field of vision. And you recognize it as retaining its distinctness despite its malleability in shape, because it hasn't merged with some other cloud. Quick topic question. How do you keep from coughing much? Any tips? If I could answer that question, I would give them to Rachel so that she didn't cough so much. Rachel's very coughy. When she pulls bone roast, she coughs a lot. But what kind of people don't like to poop at work? Well, I mean, I always hated pooping anywhere but at home. So maybe your fourth slot SI. It seemed to me like here was a difference between me and Taylor that I thought of as sort of metaphorically representing the difference between fourth and fifth slot SI. Fifth slot SI, Taylor said, I love shitting at work because I'm shitting on the boss's time. And fourth slot SI says, I hate shitting at work because I have to shit at home where it's my own private toilet. And I know that the grossness is all my own, That's right, Lijo. Lijo understands. It's all about manifesting, you guys. You just need to really believe that you're not going to cough. Then you won't. Yeah, so I think it links to SI. I don't know if this is. However, it might be the case that SI Dom also has an irrational fixation on pooping at home. It may be all front stack SI people prefer pooping at home. It's an FE violation. Rachel tries to sometimes move away, or she'll go outside if she's really coughing a lot. But the fact is, interestingly, it's really about whether it's bugging me. So she's not really thinking about its impact on the media. If her coughing is like when she's coughing, if I'm waiting for her to stop coughing, then that makes her think about whether or not she wants to go outside or something. Because, and if I look at her like, okay, enough, then she'll go outside. She does cough a lot. Sometimes it's annoying, but it's whatever. It's not even worth mentioning. As far as things one might have to put up with from a partner, it's not even worth mentioning. It's just like, so she coughs a lot when she pulls rips. I can live with that. That's something I can live with. You think the SI Dom is a fearless pooper? They'll poop anywhere. I wish Philharmonic audience members would have more FE users. It's absurd how much air they forcefully eject from their lungs. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. So, I mean, what do you think about that sign I saw this morning at the gas station that said, "You must wear a mask even if you are fully vaccinated"? Well, what's the logic behind that? I guess there's a couple different possible logics. One could be that they have no way of verifying if you actually have been vaccinated or not, although they probably do have a way of verifying that. Two, they don't want to have to verify that to see before you go in without a mask. Three, they don't really believe the vaccines are going to work, and so they think they need a double protection or something. I suspect it's mostly just convenience. They don't want to have to distinguish between these populations of people, so they just say everybody has to continue wearing a mask. New groove, it's an acquired taste. What you want to do is just gradually work your way into it. First, breathe in just a little bit of moistness from another's lungs and work your way up into just a verdant steam bath of other lung moisture. My vibe, BTS. Is that Korean boy band or whatever? Lung moisture. It's called the dew of breath. Inhale deeply the dew of my breath. Let it nestle in the pockets of your lungs and fill you with a saline juiciness. DEW. Dew. Tinder dewdrops. Rain. I'm terrified of Tinder dewdrops. Do I have any big uncommon phobias? I don't think so. Not really. I mean, there are certain things that make me scream like a little girl. I can point to a couple specific examples. One time, I walked into my garage in Temple City, and I smelled this gamey smell. I was like, "What the hell is that?" I looked around and finally my eye landed on it. It was right in front of me. This giant fucking possum in my garage. And I freaking ran and screamed and ran like a little girl, you know. Another instance was one time in Temple City, my cat, not Capio, but Capio's mother, Dixie, she was playing with something I didn't know. I was on the computer, kept tapping away. And then she came over, and after she was playing with that thing, she came over and started playing with my toes. And I was like, oh, kitty, you silly kitty. And then she continued playing with my toes. And I looked over, but she was over there. Who's playing with my toes? I looked down, and she had put a potato bug between my toes and my flip-flop. Like right here, you know. And it was squeezing on my toe with these little pinchers. And I said, ah! I kicked my shoe off and ran to the house. Is that a phobia? I think I was just being surprised, you know, really. Being very surprised. I mean, do they have genuinely good songs? Then it doesn't matter whatever else. Would you like to inhale their lung dew? KE. Would you like to play Smoochie Times? Do you have a favorite member of the BTS? Is that what it is? BTS, BTM? BTS. Do you have a favorite member, like the bad boy? Do you want to inhale the bad boy's lung dew? I put potato bug in the poll because I vaping extracted lung dew is a good idea. That's how you really show that you love someone. KE, I want you to extract the lung dew from your favorite BTS member and vape it. Being a special snowflake is overrated. Some things are liked by the many because they are good to me and for those minis at least. Well, sure. You know, I'm a huge fan of Call Me Maybe. I often use it as an example of a particularly brilliant piece of songwriting on every level. Teenage Dream also based. I like the use of the word based. What are you, a Lil B fan? He is an adult, so I'm not breaking laws by vaping his lung dew till he goes to balls. Teenage Dream never resolves to the one. I've not thought about it. The thing I like about Teenage Dream is her resolve, okay? You say it never resolves to the one, but let's talk about the other kind of resolve. The personal resolve to get something done. She has sufficient resolve to suggest that they dance until they die. It's a lot of dancing, okay? That's not taking your dancing lightly. Let me just remind the world of the following. 0. That's how many of my bitches Lil B can have. He's just lucky I'm not taking his. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Well, I mean, I would say when I've gone to the grocery store and purchased a number of small items, then yeah, I feel like I'll get the plastic bag, even if it is 10 cents. We'll be young forever, you. Meow, meow. I like that song. Another Katy Perry song I like is Hot and you're cold, you're this and you're schmold, you're schmow and you're schmew, you schmew, yeah, schmeow, meow, 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 mama, meow, 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 meow. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Although it's probably not as good as Poker Face by Lady Gaga. Poker Face. Poker Face. Poker Face. You know that song. You dust? Okay. Some people say that if you dust your shelves and collect all that dust, no responses yet. If you snort that dust, you'll sneeze a lot. Turns into a cat after a dozen meows. So anyway, if CSGS was going to accept my boxing challenge, then I would hope that Michelle Shocked will accept my songwriting challenge. Or if not, then I'll come up with another challenge of some sort. Like maybe I'll challenge Frank James to ping pong. I'm a pretty good ping pong player. Not bad anyway. Better than your average newbie for sure. I tell you what's a good song is the intro theme song to what is that one I was watching the other day? Just yesterday or something. I'm currently Hajime no Ippoing, which is fun. I kind of just shoot through them, like skip the beginning, skip the end. Oh yeah, keep your hands off, Aizuken. I'll try to find the theme song to it. Keep your hands off, Aizuken theme song. Calm tab. Keep your hands off, Aizuken theme song. Okay. So here's the link to it. This is a great theme song. I like it a lot. I like it with my heart and my ears. Angel Beats is great. I have a shirt that I made as one of my designs in my store. It says Rebels Against the God. It's a cool shirt. If you like Angel Beats. Yeah, I am that much of an otaku. I was thinking about making a design where it shows the back of somebody's head and then a screen. Just sort of, you can't see anything on the screen, just sort of like a brightness of a screen or whatever. And it just says otaku at work. What about Death Note? Not one of my favorites. A good show until L dies. Tokyo Ghoul started it, wasn't thrilled. But may I recommend the theme song to Keep Your Hands Off? And may I just in general recommend the show, Keep Your Hands Off, Aizuken. It's a really fun show. It's about anime and making anime. I feel like I'm learning a lot watching it. Like, just how difficult it is to make anime. and all the various things that go into it. It's fun. I watched all of Naruto Shippuden. In fact, the other day I watched about 6 or 7 episodes of Boruto because I got sucked in, or Boruto or Boruto, however you say it, because I got sucked in by the Crunchyroll ad that says, this week, Naruto fights all out against Mia in Boruto. So I'm like, all right, fine. Let me go back about 6, 7 episodes. And then, yeah. What I agree with Shippuden is there's way too much filler in it. There's way too many flashbacks. It's by the end of it, their continuing approach of referencing everything that's happened before to relate it to what's happening now becomes insanely cumbersome. But, it takes a while to get there. It's like they apply that approach throughout, and it works occasionally, and then it gets to be too much, and then, at least Boruto doesn't do that. Boruto doesn't seem to be doing any flashbacks, for I can tell. But Angel Beats is fantastic and moving and deep and weird and great. And the whole time I was watching, I felt this like deep sense of inevitability and sadness in my heart, but also a sense of gratification at the finality of the whole thing. It's a weird show to watch. It did a number on me emotionally. Oh yeah, it's absolutely the case not all anime is created equal. It's also absolutely the case that it's a great medium for storytelling. I agree with you, Rain. The author of Hunter x Hunter is INTP as fuck. That's why it's all like world construction and kind of 2.5-dimensional characters. The thing is, as somebody who's watched a lot of anime, good and bad, I mean, the thing is, I don't watch much of the bad stuff. It doesn't keep my attention very long. I understand what works well, what doesn't work well, and also, at this point, I am a picky anime viewer. You better be doing something pretty great if I'm going to be watching your anime. I think people dismiss anime in general because anime is, Shreds McGee, it totally depends on which anime you're watching as to whether it's predictable or not. I was watching this archery one, right? It did this brilliant thing where for the first 2 or 3 or 4 episodes, it's about this middle school kid who got what's called target terror, and they show him getting target terror, and then every night he encounters this sort of ghostly figure in the fog who says he's on the journey to shoot 10,000 arrows and before he puts down his bow forever, and everything about it leads the audience member to assume that this is going to be this magical thing where he hugs the guy and he disappears after his 10,000th arrow. And I'm right with the main character emotionally the whole time, and as the guy's about to shoot his 10,000th arrow, he says, "Here, you shoot it for me." And the main character goes, I don't want you to disappear. And this has been building up this whole shit for 4 episodes. So the audience is completely with the kid. And then the guy goes, "What are you talking about?" and he's just a regular guy. It was one of the most brilliant pieces of misdirection and most extended piece of misdirection I've seen in a long time. But I mean, I agree with you that it's pretty important to have good writing, good storytelling and stuff. The thing is that archery one, it's a little slow, and it eventually I kind of moved on to something else because it's too realistic. It's like the kid doesn't overcome his target terror right away, or maybe not ever. I don't know, but he gets gradually better, and it's not like his team kicks ass. It's like they struggle to break through to the out rounds, and then they lose, and it's like it's sort of about the zen of archery. The whole show is, and so it's kind of slow, but it's kind of beautiful too, and it was worth the time I put into it. I was happy I did. I don't like One Piece. Now, granted, I have to say that I made the mistake of trying to watch One Piece when it was on TV in English. And I think this is the thing that people dismiss in general about anime. Most people who dismiss anime, it's because they don't like reading their TV. The types who most like anime or are most perfectly comfortable watching it, who are not Japanese speakers, are types who process written words most quickly. So for Rachel, it can be difficult to watch anime for long stretches of time because it requires her to pay very close attention to read all the words, blah, 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 right? But for me, I like subtitles a lot because I can read everything that's said before they finish saying it, and then I can look at the pictures, And I prefer reading it and hearing it as like, it's nice. I love the way that I love the way the Japanese sounds. It's a small language. They don't have a lot of words. They do a lot with or just like they do a lot of expression with intonation and pitch, using the same words to mean different things. Like so desu ka. The thing is, it's weird to say that you dislike anime. It's kind of like saying you dislike music. I mean, it's that broad. The only thing that's in common with anime is that it's not live action. Right. It also depends on what you want in a show. It's like there are anime that serve all different kind of audiences. I watched one that was called I Don't Understand My Husband, and it's written from the perspective of the wife of an otaku who's making his living writing a blog about anime, and she's not into anime and trying to sort of get this. And it's very much a show about a ISFP who's dating an INTP. Okay, I'm going to have to go pretty soon here because I got a typing coming up, but I think I might want to play a song on the guitar before I go. So Shreds McGee asks, what's your experience consuming TV media as an NE dom? I can hardly focus on TV as an IHP. Well, I mean, I used to tell my ex-wife when she asked, like, well, why do you drink? One of my reasons that I'd say was, and it was true, is so I can watch TV. Because otherwise it was too boring, basically, or too something. Thing is, I like watching anime. In general, I like watching good stuff if it's good enough and it has no commercials and I can skip stuff. And like, I like watching shit on Netflix where I can go 1.5 times. And then all of a sudden it starts being more, if you're selective enough and you don't have to deal with commercials and you can speed it up, all of a sudden it starts being more in line with your intentional preferences, you know? I do like to watch sports on TV. I've always liked sports, and I think that's kind of unusual for intuitives. I don't think they generally are sports fans. But I was raised by ESTJ, ISFJ, sports fans. Sports were always on TV. I went to USC football games at the Coliseum. I went to USC football games at other stadiums when we went on the road. My parents just took me to a lot of sporting events. I went to Dodger games. My mom was a huge Dodgers fan. And I ended up just kind of learning to like sports and how to like sports and being pretty knowledgeable about it. I like boxing a lot too. I like MMA, but it's a little brutal sometimes. I don't like it when they like sometimes they'll have them knocked out, but manage to get in another punch, and I go, I don't like that. Once the person is helpless, I definitely don't want to see them get hit again, you know. And that's something you will see periodically in MMA. You're much less likely to see in boxing. Sometimes, in fact, in boxing, I get mad because it's like, why are you calling this thing so quick? It's like, give them a chance to recover a bit, you know? Sometimes they call boxing matches too quickly, and I don't like that, obviously. I want to see them fight it out, but yeah, I watch a lot of boxing highlights and stuff, or even whole matches on YouTube. All right, so we're gonna play this song, and I'm gonna go. Let me bring this over here, and also probably turn it down a bit, maybe. All right. Just brooding here won't do any good, but brooding's more and more my style. I seek the cheery ways of standing where we stood, 'cause I've been stuck here a while. That's despite a natural selfishness that makes it easy to have fun, but flutters in the gut become a fist as all my visions come undone. I tried to stream, distract, and dream the afternoon away, but heavy new realities are breaking every day, and for a bit I am out of it, for reasons still unsaid. Still I need get out of me what's inside my head. It seems like everybody's so sensitive and ready to just get mad. I I see the civil ways of living like a kid. 'Cause who wants to be the dad? Have we lost our sense of scope and scale? Our capacity to laugh? The sense to know when not to wail, and how to tip the golden calf. I tried to stream, distract, and dream the afternoon away, but heavy new realities are breaking every day, and for a bit I am out of it, for reasons still unsaid. Still I need get out of me what's inside my head. And yet I'm sad, sad for me, sad for her unhappily. And what you call sorrow, I call home. Blues that sink clear down to the bone. Yeah, still I'm sad, so sad for me, sad for her unhappily, unhappily. You call sorrow, I call home. Blues that sink clear down to the bone. Oh, wonderful, oh, wonderful. You know what? Maybe I have time for one more song. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Maybe I want to play my favorite cover. Some folk call me a rambling man, 'cause I do a lot of thumbing and a kicking cans, but I won't do an ass kid to call me names. My daddy wasn't well, he would do. I wasn't born and raised in no ghetto, just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. I'm gonna find me a wealthy woman in a line of work that don't take no diploma, 'cause I ain't got much to lose but lots to gain. Now you might call me a good time fella, but I ain't no black and I ain't no yellow, just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. Yeah, I don't need no handout living, don't want any part of anything they give, and I'm proud of mine like how the song to sing. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you got a home and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. Small town boy, been around a little. Yeah, I like guitar and I like the fiddle, 'cause that's the kind of soul take the pen I play. I'm a blue-eyed belly, beard ain't ready. I got to work for be somebody. A white boy looking to do my thing. Yeah, I don't want no handout living, don't want any part of anything they give, and I'm proud of why I like all the time you sing. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you got to hump and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you got to hump and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. That was fun. That was fun as a bun from Hun. Who's Hun? Why, Hun's the greatest bun maker in all of Bun Town. Really? That sounds like a pretty good bun. You ain't just whistling Dixie. I'm not whistling Dixie at all, actually. That's the point. I'm sorry I don't understand. Santa Ana's from the east are blowing, driving down this mountain fire. Grant and Lana had best be going, they'd cut it down to the wire. Everywhere apocalypse hung heavy, truck was piling up with ash. Lana got the dogs in the Chevy, and Grant counted out their petty cash. If times are ending, then time is bending. Flames ring down down from the sky. While the dogs knock out with Grant exhausted, Lana stays awake to cry. 120 output lay per day, and that means cooking meat outdoors. Guy got distracted and fire got away. Now from Bradford to Arcadia, they curse his name. Fire chased them west and down the incline until they reached the foothills below. Found a room cheap for the night online. At least now they had someplace to go. Tomorrow they'd evaluate their options. And now that their life had burned away, Alana's sister has a place in Laughlin. Wasn't really any more to say. If times are ending, then time is bending. Flames rain down from the sky, while the dogs knock out with Grant exhausted. Lana stays awake to cry. While the dogs knock out with Grant exhausted, Lana stays awake to cry. What? Time for one more, you say? Well, I suppose, if you insist. 30,000 days, too many expectations, not even worth a damn. 30,000 nights to sleep off the intoxication, otherwise you won't escape the plan. I've wasted half my days trying another's ways. Who can tell me my priorities? Is there anybody knows the key? 'Cause I think I'm doing it wrong. I want direction and have all along. Wait until I know, or is that just hesitation? Clarity's no good once your chance is gone. What I need to show is it so below my station. I'm tired of doing it wrong. I wasted half my days trying another's ways. Who can tell me my priorities? Is there anybody knows the key? 'Cause I think I'm doing this wrong. Yeah, I think I'm doing this wrong. Yes, I think I'm doing this wrong. Doing this wrong. You sure are. Too much noise in the data stream. Loud enough to disrupt everybody's dreams. Frustrations mean mistakes are made, until it seems everybody's just throwing shade. I won't be another casualty of other people's well-intentioned rules. I used to think that some tomorrow there'd be time for yesterday. It's not the sort of thing that one can borrow. No one willing to do in the day. I know uncertainties implicit, just like an unexpected visit from a bunch of men all dressed in blue suits. I won't be another casualty of other people's well-intentioned rules. I used to think that some tomorrow there'd be time for yesterday. I did not play that well, so I gotta play at least one more song because that was crappily done. Done like a C to the R to the A to the P. Crap, crap, crap. That is me. Oh, he came here with her. And what's the big problem that you can't endure? You seem so sure it's not appropriate claiming to blame things on Scott. Despite getting caught, he's got you reframing for him, straining for him, going to the gym to make yourself good enough again. Yeah, you guys both have lots invested. That's not a reason to stay around. Through the years, you've both been tested. Time to move up, find higher ground. Oh, he came here with her. And what's the big problem that you can't endure? You seem so sure it's not appropriate claiming to blame things on Scott. Despite getting caught, he's got you reframing for him, straining for him, going to the gym to make yourself good enough again. Be done with him. Okay, now seriously, this is actually the last song. You're living on a time frame I will never know. Alienation and humanity's soul. Imagine you a future after the collapse, returning to the urgency of isolated past. You're picturing community free of metaphysics while you're hunting buffalo, picking red delicious, and your knowledge of the seasons, wisdoms of old. Fires blazing in the night to keep away the cold. Hostility is kept at bay by what you think is in the way of life as children of the land with an agave weatherman. Imagining a history that never could have been. You lecture at the college, advancement is a sin. Lamenting disconnection and every corporate act, asserting all your feelings and ignoring all the facts. Hostility is kept at bay by what you think is in the way of life as children of the land with an agave weatherman. You find modernity just so banal. Wish you had been born any time but now, and your experience won't run afoul of exception you might allow. You visualize nobility sipping on some port, or tribes of peaceful savages in beautiful comport. But few of history's people ever thusly did cavort, 'cause life was solitary, nasty, brutish, poor, and short. Hostility is kept at bay. Hostility is kept at bay by what you think is in the way. What you think is in the way of life as children of the land. With an agave weatherman. With an agave weatherman. The end. I must say, I nailed that one pretty good. So I'm pretty okay with ending on that note. Thanks for being here. Love you all. I use my emotional heart to love you all. Goodbye.